They erased me with a single sentence. Don't worry about her. My mother laughed over speakerphone. It's just for the real family. I was standing in the kitchen when she said it. My phone was on the counter, loud enough that every word sliced clean through the room. My husband froze mid-step, his hand still wrapped around his coat. Neither of us spoke. We didn't need to. Hi. My name is Claire Whitman. I'm 34. Married. Independent. And, apparently, optional. The New Year's Eve party had been planned for weeks. Group chats buzzing. Outfit debates. Seating arrangements. Everyone was invited. My siblings. Their spouses. Cousins. Even friends of friends. Just not me. When my husband finally asked why my name wasn't on the invitation, my father didn't hesitate. We didn't think it would matter, he said. You've changed. Changed. The word they use when you stop apologizing for existing. I smiled that night. I told my husband it was fine. I told him to go without me if he wanted. I told myself I was used to this. But when midnight crept closer, the silence in our apartment grew heavier than any insult they'd thrown before. So I made other plans. Not loud ones. Not petty ones. Quiet. Intentional. The kind you don't announce. By 9 p.m., I was dressed. By 9:30, I was gone. By 10, I was somewhere they never imagined I'd be. Laughing. Glowing. Finally seen. At 11:58, I raised my glass. At 12:01, I posted the first photo. And somewhere across town, my parents' perfect party went very, very quiet. Exclusion didn't start that night. It just finally stopped pretending to be accidental. Growing up, I was the difficult one. Not loud. Just unwilling to shrink. My younger sister, Megan, learned early how to smile and comply. My parents adored that. Compliance looked like love to them. When I married my husband, they were polite, but distant. He wasn't from our kind of family, my mother once whispered, like it was a medical condition. After that, invitations came late. Phone calls grew shorter. Decisions were made without me. Still, I showed up. Birthdays. Holidays. Dinners where my opinions were met with silence and my absence went unnoticed. The New Year's party was just the first time they said it out loud. After midnight, my phone vibrated nonstop. Messages from cousins I hadn't heard from in months. Where are you? Why aren't you here? Your mom looks furious. I didn't reply. I was watching fireworks reflect off a city skyline, my husband's arm warm around my back. Then a single message came through from my sister. What are you trying to prove? I stared at the screen, realizing something cold and clear. They didn't miss me. They missed control. The morning after, my parents' silence was louder than any confrontation. No Happy New Year. No follow-up. Just a curated absence, like they were punishing me for being visible without permission. My sister finally called around noon. Her voice was sharp, rehearsed. You embarrassed them, she said. I almost laughed. By existing somewhere else? They had guests asking questions, Claire. People noticed you weren't there. Mom said it looked intentional. Intentional. As if my absence hadn't been carefully designed by them first. Later that day, my father sent a text. Not an apology. A correction. We didn't mean it the way you took it. That was their favorite line. It translated roughly to you're inconvenient, but we don't want to say why. I replayed the party photos in my head. My mother's tight smile, my sister hovering, the way my husband said the room felt off when he arrived briefly to drop off a gift. Something had shifted. I could feel it. This wasn't just exclusion anymore. It was a test. And for the first time, I stopped trying to pass it. The truth surfaced 2 days later, publicly, and without mercy. My mother posted a New Year's recap on Facebook. Group photos, smiling captions, and one line that made my chest go cold. So grateful to celebrate with those who truly belong. Comments poured in. Hearts. Applause. Agreement. Then my aunt added, family is everything. When people remember their place. I was tagged. My sister texted immediately. Ignore it. Mom's emotional. But the damage was already done. Friends messaged me in confusion. My in-laws called, furious on my behalf. Even my husband's co-workers had seen it. That was the moment, the viral moment, the humiliation they assumed I'd swallow quietly. I stared at my reflection, phone trembling in my hand, and realized something simple and devastating. They weren't ashamed. They were proud. Proud to draw a line. Proud to push me out where everyone could see. I didn't cry. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my notes app and typed a single sentence. Stop asking to be chosen by people who benefit from excluding you. Then I made a decision they'd never see coming. The pain didn't explode the way movies promise. It settled. Heavy.
Clarifying.
For 2 days, I let myself feel it fully. The years of shrinking, the careful smiles, the constant translation of my worth into something they'd accept. Then the ache hardened into calm. Not numbness. Precision. I reread my mother's post. My aunt's comment. The way my sister rushed to manage their image instead of my hurt. Patterns snapped into focus. They didn't exclude me because I was difficult. They excluded me because I was uncontrollable. I stopped reacting. No posts. No messages. No vague quotes. Silence unnerved them more than any argument ever had. Then I remembered something my parents liked to forget. They relied on me. Not emotionally, financially. Logistically. Quietly. I handled paperwork. Smoothed conflicts. Made introductions. Fixed problems before they reached daylight. And I did it without credit. That night, I opened my laptop and began undoing myself from their lives. One account. One favor. One invisible thread at a time. Not revenge fueled by anger. Revenge built on absence. And by the time they noticed, it would already be too late. Execution didn't look dramatic. It looked like restraint. I withdrew access first, emails rerouted, shared documents locked, standing authorizations quietly revoked. Then, I made a single phone call to the accountant I'd recommended years ago. Calm voice. Simple update. I'm no longer involved. By afternoon, my mother was calling, then texting, then calling my husband. Why can't I log in? Did something change? Claire, this isn't funny. I didn't answer. The real moment came that evening, when my father finally showed up at our door. No anger. Just confusion, the kind that comes when a system you took for granted stops working. We just need you to fix a few things, he said, avoiding my eyes. You always know how. I smiled. Not cold. Not cruel. Just finished. I'm not part of the real family, I said softly. Remember? He opened his mouth.
Closed it.
For the first time in my life, they had no leverage. No guilt. No access. As he walked away, phone pressed to his ear, I felt something unexpected. Not triumph. Relief. And behind it, panic, blooming on their side of the door. The fallout was immediate and messy. Within 48 hours, the calls multiplied. My sister's voice notes grew frantic. My mother oscillated between wounded and furious. My father tried authority one last time. This family doesn't function without cooperation, he said. I almost corrected him. Without me, he meant. They missed deadlines. Missed payments. A deal fell through because a connection I'd made quietly stepped back the moment my name was removed. Small cracks widened into visible fractures. At dinner that Sunday, I was told later, no one touched their food. My absence sat at the table like an accusation. My sister finally showed up alone, eyes red, tone stripped of superiority. You didn't have to go this far, she said. I met her gaze. Neither did you. She asked if we could reset. If I could just help until things stabilized. For the first time, I understood the difference between reconciliation and convenience. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I'm stable, I said. You're just not. When she left, the silence felt earned. And somewhere inside it, something clicked shut, permanently. The twist came quietly, like everything that mattered. 2 weeks later, I received an invitation. Not a text. Not a call. A printed card. My parents were hosting a family dinner. My name was centered this time, spelled carefully, like an apology they couldn't say out loud. I didn't go. Instead, I posted one final photo. Not flashy. Just my husband and me, cooking at home, barefoot, laughing. The caption was simple. New traditions feel lighter. That night, my mother finally messaged. No accusations. No corrections. I didn't realize how much we leaned on you. I stared at the words for a long time before replying. That was the problem. I didn't block them. I didn't reconcile. I let things exist exactly where they belonged, at a distance defined by respect, not obligation. For the first time, I wasn't trying to prove I belonged. I already did.
Just not to them.
And as the year unfolded, calmer, quieter, mine, I realized the real revenge wasn't being missed. It was being free, and never needing their invitation again.